Good morning, students. Myself, Dr. Vijender Singh Tawar, Associate Professor in English. Presently, I have been posted at Government College, Gudha in the Jammu district. In the series of video lectures which are being prepared by me, this video is meant for the students of BA Part 2nd, Subject English Literature, Paper 1st, and the poem which is being going to be discussed in this video has been entitled Enterprise by Nissim Ezekiel. In this video, we will talk about the explanation of the poem. As I have told you earlier also, that when we think of the explanation, there will be a compulsory question of reference to context. So we think of four things while we are dealing with the question of explanation. First is reference, that is name of the poet, poem, name of the book in which it was published, year of publication, source, etc. And then the context, background of those lines, and then explanation, and then critical comments. So we can do it quite easily if we do at least two poems seriously. I hope when we will meet in the college physically, we will discuss it clearly so that this question may not create problem for any of the students. Now let us come to the poet. Poet, as the name I have told you, is Nissim Ezekiel. Nissim Ezekiel, though it appears that he is not an Indian, but he is an Indian author. He is an Indian poet, very popular poet. He was born in 1924 and died in 2004. He belonged to a Jewish family. So you can say he is an Indian Jewish poet. He was an actor, playwright, editor, and art critic also. He was one of the greatest personalities of the post-colonial Indian literary history, particularly Indian poetry in English. He has written many poems, many volumes of poems, and in 1983, for his collection of poems, Later Day Psalms, he was awarded Sahitya Academy Award. And the government of India also conferred upon him the title of Padam Shri in recognition of his services to literature in 1988. He was a versatile genius, prolific writer, so he happens to be one of the most productive talents and most distinctive poetic personalities of modern India. Having produced 7 volumes of poetry to date, he is acknowledged by all and sundry as an established Indian English poet of the post-independence era. Besides this, he has written a large number of poems published in literary journals and magazines from time to time. He is a man of varied taste and interest and preoccupations. Besides teaching poetry and prosody at the University of Mumbai, he also edited a number of literary journals, wrote reviews. In a word, he was a versatile genius. He started his career as a lecturer in Bombay University and got retirement from the Bombay University as a head of the Department of English. He was a visiting professor also. In that capacity, he visited Australia, USA, England, and many European countries and delivered his lectures there. Now let us come to the poem. The poem, which is entitled Enterprise, is one of the finest lyrics of Nissim Ezekiel. It was written in 1959 and was first published in 1960. It forms one of the 10 brilliant poems published in The Unfinished Man, a collection of 10 poems in which the poet's art achieves near perfection. It is regarded as a perfect poem. It is a short poem of 6 stanzas of 5 lines each. That is just a 30 lines poem. It is an allegorical poem. Allegorical means a work which has double meaning. One is surface meaning, another is hidden meaning. For example, you must have read the stories Thirsty Crow, Greedy Dog, Fox and the Grapes, etc. All these are allegorical. They narrate a story at the surface level of the greedy dog, but they have a hidden meaning also. The same is the case with this poem. It has a surface meaning as well as a hidden meaning. So we can say it is an allegorical poem. And it is an allegory of the human condition on this sorry planet of ours, that is on our earth, of the frequent efforts human beings make, full efforts, failures, and frustrations to which man is subject by the very nature of his earthly life. This is the, you can say, hidden meaning. The poem has manifold layers of its actual meaning. Readers can interpret the poem in their own way. Every reader has freedom to interpret it according to its his or her own way. It being a well-written piece of art welcomes various critical appreciations. Apart from the meaning of the text, the essence of Indianness is there in the poem. These elements make it so dear to the Indian readers. The language used by the poet is very simple, and even a layman can understand it quite easily. The idea is the poet has not used difficult language. It is very easy language. So we can say the critical comments language is very easy, very allegorical meaning, and almost the poet's art achieves perfection. Two or three these we can use as critical comments in any of the stanza. Now let us come to the real poem, real text of the poem. And as I have told you, the poem consists of 6 stanzas. The first stanza. First of all, the title, Enterprise. Enterprise means romantic call for the remote, a large project, especially a difficult one, a venture. So we can say here the poet talks of a target, a group of people, including the poet. Poet is one of the member of that group. They have decided to achieve a target. They had fixed a destination that they would go there. Now the poet tells us, it started as a pilgrimage. It means the journey towards that destination began just like a journey to a holy place. Exalting minds. These minds were full of hopes, noble ideas, higher and greater in power, and treating all the burdens light. Means if they will face any kind of problems during the journey, they will deal them quite easily. They will overcome those problems quite easily. This was the attitude, and with this attitude, the group began its journey. So the poet has adequately compared the journey with a pilgrimage. They were full of hopes, enthusiasm, and fervor, ardor. This was the first stage, you can say, or beginning. Now, after some time, the second stage came. That is, there started coming problems during the journey. Explode here means tough moments. They had certainly tough moments. That is, they had to face certain problems, but did not test the call with courage and hope. But their courage, their hope was so high that it did not lower them. In other words, they were not discouraged. They were full of hopes. Though there were some problems, but they faced them quite easily. The sun beat down. The sun is a symbol of hostility of nature. That is, nature created its own problems. Beat down Beat down means reduce the intensity, try to create problems to match our rage, enthusiasm, ardor, joy, fervor. But till now, till the second stage, the enthusiasm of the travelers, that is the group members, and the problems, they were equally balanced. They were not discouraged. They were ready to face them quite enthusiastically. Now the second stage, or we can say second stanza. In the second stanza, as I say, we stood it very well. Stood means faced. The poet says, he along with the members of the group faced all the problems, difficulties which they came across during the way bravely. I thought, at least the poet who is a member of the group thinks so. Observed and put down copious notes on things of the peasant sold and bought. Observed and took notice of. They were so interesting that they were taking care of everything. They were taking notes of everything and noting them down in plenty, particularly of the peasants, the farmers, what kind of goods they were selling and what they were buying. So such kind of things they were noting in their book or in their research journal. The way the serpents and of goats and how the serpents and goats behave in a particular way, particular situation, they were also noted them down. What does it mean? It means serpents, as it is an allegory, serpents means the mischievous person, the way of the behavior of the mischievous person, good simple persons, they noted them. Now three cities, they also passed through three cities. It is said three cities in literature, it is said that they are heavenly city, that is church, eternal city Rome, and holy city Jerusalem. They passed where a sage had taught. Sage, wise person, here saint, who taught or who delivered his message in these cities, they also passed through these cities. Here is the point. Point is, they passed the cities, but they did not notice what was the message of that saint. They just passed. Means the poet is satirically describing what he is feeling during the journey. He actually indicates to how people gets distracted from the main mission. The main mission was something different, and now they are noting the behavior of the animals, behavior of the farmers, etc. They were wasting their time and energy taking notes on the humdrum aspects of life and on curiosity, which were certainly not their aim. Moreover, their concern was with rather unimportant things. As I told you, they did not give attention to what was taught. They observed, took note of the cities without concerning themselves with what the sage had taught or what his message was. Means this was the change which appeared in them because of the problems which they were facing. Now the stanza third. Third stanza, but when the differences arose. Differences here means having different opinions on a particular issue. Arose means crop up on how to cross a desert patch. A desert is sandy tract of land, but here it means a tough problem. A tough problem came before them, and as it was a group of different people, so every one had its own or his or her own opinion. So there was a difference of opinions in the group, and it continued growing. The difference of opinion continued growing. The result was we lost a friend whose stylish prose. There was a person in the group who used to write good prose. He left the group. Who was quite the best upon our batch. He was the best person of the batch. It means he was a great intellectual person. He left the group because his view was not given importance. In this way, in the group, there started a kind of problem, or you can say differences cropped up in the group. A shadow falls on us. Shadow means a cloud of discord, that different opinions on different issues falls on, started falling on them and grows, and it continued growing. That is, with the defection of the most talented man among them, the others find that their task has now become more arduous, difficult. At this point in their studies and researches, this group of intellectuals begin to feel discouraged by the difficulties of their task. In the beginning, they were very enthusiastic, but now they were discouraged. And the feeling of them, their incapacity to grapple to face, to solve with the problems has become stronger. Now they started believing that now the problems are more powerful than their intellect. I have given in the note C. So we see that a holy journey of a noble cause no longer holds its integrity. People are becoming egoistic, self-centered, and concentrating on trivial matters. Their main concern now is the way, not the ultimate aim. What was the target they decided in the beginning? They forgot that. Even the seemingly intellectual did not bother to reconcile the difference and hold the members together. Even the intellectual people, instead of solving the problems, keeping the group intact and united, they left the group. Ironically, he sought the easier way to part from the group. At one friend left the group, a shadow of friction or conflict befalls, and the enterprise and continues to grow. They now lacked the zeal, enthusiasm with which they started. Now there was a change now. In the beginning, they were full of hope, enthusiasm. Now they were without hope. Now the fourth stanza. Another phase was reached when we were twice attacked. Now next stage came in during the journey, and they were attacked twice. Twice here means from external as well as internal side, or we can some local and external forces attack them on their way. As a result, they lost their way, lost our way. The right path was lost, and it created confusion among the members, among the group members, and a section claimed its liberty to leave the group. A section means some people of the group, they were not in agree, or they were not happy, they were not satisfied, so they decided that they should be allowed to leave the group. At this stage, the poet, who was one of the member of the group, he tried to pray to God that some godly help will come and solve their problem, but no, the things that kind of happened. Our leader said he smelled the sea. The leader, in order to fill the members with enthusiasms, declared that he smelled the sea. Means he declared that the destination was at hand, very near, so that they may not be disgraced. But he was not successful in filling the hearts of the members with enthusiasm. Not see they. We human beings often face the opposition of fellow men on our way of life. Sometimes we lose our way by the hostility and misguidance of others. Moreover, when we find ourselves in trouble, we forget the larger perspective and run away to save our narrow interest. It means that we human beings are not as talented as we are required to solve or to face the problems. Now the next stanza, that is stanza number 5th. We noticed nothing as we went, as they were almost discouraged, disheartened, so they were going towards their destination, but they did not pay any attention to notice anything. a straggling crowd of little of. They have become a group of people who are aimless and hopeless. That is, they became a group of aimless and hopeless wanderers, and they did not have any hope. Little means almost negligible hope. They did not have any hope of achieving their target. Ignoring what the thunder meant. Ignore, did not pay any attention. Thunder is a symbolic meaning, means what the inner voice said, they did not pay any attention to even that thing, that aspect of life. Deprived of common needs, like so. They were so much frustrated that they were not even having ordinary necessary things with them. They were full of problems, only problems. Some were broken. Some of the members were so much perturbed by these problems which they faced during the journey that they were almost broken. They did not have enough courage to continue. Some were merely bent, some were bent down with pain. Means they did not have that kind of enthusiasm which they had in the beginning. They were now without any enthusiasm. As I have given the meaning, if you notice it, they didn't have any idea of what was happening around. Seemingly, they were exhausted and lost their faith by now. The entire enterprise was reduced to a motiveless ritualistic exercise. They were physically drained too. Some members were not able to walk anymore, and the others just bent down with pain. So they were not having that kind of energy which they had in the beginning. Now the last stanza of the poem, when finally we reached the place, we the remaining member of the group, they reached their enterprise, their destination, we hardly know why we were there. They even did not know why they had come to this destination. Means they were so full of disappointment, frustration, that they were not happy at all. They were not satisfied with their achievement. The trip, that is the journey, had darkened every face. Means there were signs of disappointment and frustration onto the face of each one of the members of the group. Our deeds were neither great nor rare. They realized that what they have achieved was neither the great, it was not at all a great achievement, neither it was rare. Means already people had achieved that. So it was a useless enterprise for them. Home is where we have to gather grace. This line has become an epigram, a proverb, and here the poet wants to convey the message that in the journey of life, home is symbolic of one's inner self, which must be accepted and faced and not shirked away. We should not try to run away from the real thing, what our inner soul says. This is the only sane, full of wisdom and balanced way of life that man should accept. If a person accepts it, he will be happier than the person who goes out. In other words, a person by remaining at home can achieve many things by paying attention to what his inner soul says. He can achieve many things instead of going physically here and there. Thank you very much.